Pew pew. What's going on, everybody? Is that a loud poop? Did I poo poo too loud, Casey? All
Something
right,
like
everybody,
that.
we are getting the show started. It's time for The Truth Will Set You Free. It's episode 162. I'm going to go and straighten that camera. I'm trying to avoid the light. There we go. Go ahead and hit the like button, share button. As you guys know, it's been a while since we've actually had the algorithm in our favor. So do us a favor. We've got a great show today. We've got a special guest by the name of Chaotic Truth. If you don't already follow his YouTube, we'll talk more about that when he gets on. I actually I scrubbed through a few of his episodes, and if anybody can talk more than I can and actually have something to say, that gentleman. So you're going to enjoy having him on the show today. What else we got? What's going on in our personal lives? What do you got, Case?
Just prepping for the NFR, man. I'm looking forward to getting out of town and going to where it's 60 degrees and I could wear shorts and a t-shirt and not look funny because everybody else is bundled up in 50 layers like you.
I mean, you know what? If I'm going to be cold, I'm going to make sure I'm prepared to be cold. I like wearing layers. I think the week you called me out, by the way, was in Columbus, Ohio. No. It was Kansas when you said how many layers did I have on? Yeah. Well, you're a dick. That's all that matters. All right, go ahead and start putting comments in there. We're going to wait till the crowd grows. Let's see if we can get a little bit bigger. Chaotic Truth, I know you're backstage right now. I forgot to mention, if you want, you can share this with your audience. I think you have the ability to do that. Totally up to you. Totally understand if you don't want to do that. But, all right, we've got a couple people joining in. Here we go, kicking the algorithm a little bit. We'll do the t-shirts when we get back when we start the show. So let's go ahead and officially do the countdown right after I talk about what we're talking about on the show. We are going to talk about Fulton County, by the way, giving a $500 fine to people that burned down a Wendy's, juxtaposed with a J6er that just got arrested 3 years after the fact, which makes me feel really good that I did not go in the doorway. That could have gone way worse for me. I was close. I mean, remember, I was close. All this guy did was go in the doorway. Geopolitics a little bit. We're going to talk about Yemen. We're going to talk about Hamas breaking the ceasefire. We're going to talk about, with Yemen, the Houthis, and the fact that it's not major international news that we're getting bombed. Our ships are getting bombed. Whatever. We're running out of money for Ukraine, poor Ukraine. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Christianity in terms of James Carville saying that is the biggest threat to democracy. Let's go and get the party started with episode 162. Let's roll. That's right, ladies and gents. Episode 162. It is season 3. We need more people to hit the like button. Again, each week it gets a little bit worse and worse. Casey, I still blame you for the fact that we're demonetized. At least I was making a couple $100 a month to at least pay my gas bill. And now, because of something you did about 3 months ago, nothing. Whatever.
Do we need to have a conversation about accountability, or...
It was your post. All right, let's introduce our special guest, Chaotic Truth. We're going to bring him on the stage. I'm going to show him up here real quick, guys. He was watching the show a couple weeks ago. Casey reached out to this gentleman, and we started looking at his content. He has a fantastic page. He literally goes for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I watched some of the beginning. I watched some of the end. You have the same intensity and enthusiasm all the way throughout. And if you're wondering, he identifies as a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So, Chaotic Truth, introduce yourself to everybody. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much, Casey. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Anthony, for allowing me up on the show and reaching out to me. I did tune in last week, and you guys were discussing some incredible topics. And I'm so glad that you guys checked out my channel. And salute to everybody in the audience. Salute to the Facebook audience. Salute to the YouTube audience. I believe that's the only two platforms that you guys are.
And we have it on Rumble as well.
And also the Rumble channel as well. Salute to you all. I'm sending out positivity at the speed of light to you all. Happy Thanksgiving and happy or Merry Christmas to you all. Happy Hanukkah, et cetera, et cetera. Salute to you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. So before we get into our show topics, and we got a couple housekeeping things. But first off, I want to give you props on your show.
Thank
So you do exactly what I wish I would love. Maybe I'll ask you, what is your full-time job?
Well, my full-time job is I'm a husband and to a beautiful woman, of course. I also am a retail stock trader, and I'm a former educator. I got the hell out years ago, but right now, man, I just focus on creating conservative content, man. Content that dibbles and dabble in the political spectrum. I also do trending topics, and I do a lot of race topics as well. So yeah, this is my full-time job now, man. Content creation.
What gives you the right to think you could speak on race topics, Chaotic Truth? Come on.
Well, well, given the fact that in the West, well, when I was identifying as a black man, black people can pretty much say whatever they want to say about anything that they want to say without any recourse. I decided to talk about race because, unfortunately, men of a certain complexion, you two, can't talk about it because you will be canceled, you will be vilified, you will be labeled a racist, etc. So me being able to dibble and dabble, I'm transracial, so I and race is fluid, because if gender can be fluid, race can be fluid. So because I have darker skin, I'm able to talk about race, but I'm also able to not be canceled while I do it.
Well, it's still a fine line. Do you know I'm sure you know who Chado Jackson is, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, come on. You got to make sure you follow him. Well, Chado Jackson, he is one of the creators of Uncle Tom, the movie.
Oh, okay. I'm looking up right now. There we go.
He's local. I'm going to set you guys up. He does a lot of these conversations. He's a really great dude. He spoke at one of the events I did. He's also been on one of my other podcasts. Great guy. And you guys would love to chop it up. Love to chop it up. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that connection happens. One other thing I got to give you props for is the call you made into the mayor's office.
Yeah.
This is what I was getting into, is the fact that these are the things, like there was a period of time where I was like, I want to call a bunch of doctors' offices and ask them if they would give their 5-year-old off the record a vaccine. Like I wanted to ask those questions, and I was like, I need to set up the time and do it. And I never did. And you know what? You literally have an idea on your show and you're like, I'm going to call the mayor's office. Let me Google it real quick. And you did. And then you called the aldermans, and then you called. So you do the work on your show. And that's why I think if you guys are bored, I know it's 8 hours. Nobody's going to watch for 8 hours straight, but just pop in. He's always got something going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for noticing that. Because I was quite curious. As this idiotic mayor, Brandon Johnson of Chicago, he's blaming the GOP for the immigration problem. All the while in 1984, 85, African-American mayor was the one who signed or who put this into law, not law, but who made, Chicago a sanctuary city. I wonder why he wasn't talking about the mayor who was responsible for making Chicago a sanctuary city in the first place. But that's neither here nor there. I just ask questions. That's it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. So before we really get into all the topics, I'm wearing the old school Cash shirt. Speaking of, am I really choppy, Casey? Is that really happening?
Your audio is but your video is worse.
Really?
Yes.
The fiber internet just not getting the job done today.
Let's just hope Texas doesn't succeed from the United States, because your internet's going to get worse.
You mean succeed or succeed? Because I think you said succeed.
I did.
If you're going to call me out, I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, secede from the United States.
Oh, it's French. Secede. All right. So real quick, speaking of Cash, technically, guys, he is actually eligible for release right now. And we're going to be talking about J6 a little bit later. And I think you talked about it on your show, Chaotic Truth, this last week. So he's eligible. For some odd reason, he can't get out right now. And we don't know why. But his date is currently set for January, but he's technically eligible for release right now. Nobody could talk to him because it's locked down because of Derek Chauvin. He's in the same unit. So, anyways, so this is what we're doing, because in order for him to get out and try to avoid the idea of him having to do the halfway house, he needs to have a job. So we're going to try to pay him. So I know the biggest hit we ever had, we sold like $20,000-$30,000 worth of t-shirts, was when Cash went to jail, and that went to Erica and his family. So we have the old school shirts back up on the website. Casey, go ahead and bring this up real quick. We've got the new shirts and old school shirts. So we've got the Cash is the original one, which is I'm wearing. And then you've got the Cash is back. And then you've got, so we'll show this one. So you can get this in men's and women's. And then last but not least, there is the Freedom one. Cash is free. So men's Freedom shirt. What does that say underneath it? Cash Lee Kelly. Free Cash Kelly. Anyways, and it's got to be the change. So here's the deal. These are the only shirts on our website that are not 20% off, because every dollar of the proceeds are going to go to him for a job for the first couple months when he is out, while he is getting back on his feet. And also with that, but if you use Cash at checkout, Kash, everything on the store is 20% off, and a portion of that will all go to Cash as well. So use Cash at checkout. It won't work on those shirts, but it will work on everything else. So Cash is within about a month, no matter what, of getting out. So that is the update. That's the best thing we can say. We of course have all the clothes. They both suck. Like the shirt that Casey's wearing, we got a Wake Not Woke. I'm wearing a Pure Blood hat. Huge store. Go ahead and check it out. That's all I got for you on that. Let's just get right into topics today. No need for the rest of the BS. Let's go. We're going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with geopolitics, because it's probably the snooziest, but also the most important. So CT's like, no, it's a pretty big deal.
It's pretty big.
Let's start with the Yemenis. The Houthis right now have been bombing warships. And I saw this on one of the Twitter or the X handles that typically has kind of BS, like stuff you're like, okay, is it really happening? And a day and a half later, it was actually reported by national news. And it wasn't big story. It was just part of the stories. We have American warships being bombed and being fired at with ballistic missiles and drones in, I believe, the Indian Ocean or Red Sea, one of the two.
Red Sea.
Yeah. Red Sea.
Yeah.
They're being bombed in the Red Sea. And this is the American military being an active war against them. And we're pretending like nothing is there. And we're also forgetting why this is probably happening. CT, go ahead and give us, I know you took some time to look a little bit more about what's going on out there. And what's your thoughts on the whole situation?
Well, if you are a Muslim, I'm a little bit long-winded, guys, by the way, so please forgive me. If you are a Muslim in the chat, positivity's coming your way. I hope all is well with you and yours, but I'm going to be brutally honest right now. What is taking place over in the Red Sea, and particularly, and I don't want to butcher this name, and I don't want to be ignorant of the Arab language, but the Bab el Mandeb Strait, I'm probably saying it wrong because I don't know Arabic. Alhamdulillah. I should have said that.
We'll just call it a strait.
This strait is a very important strait. Check this out, guys. I don't know if you guys are up to speed with this, but 35% of all global maritime trade passes through this strait. Now, I don't know if you guys are up to speed with the cargo ship that was commandeered. This cargo ship is called I believe the Galaxy, or I probably got it wrong. It's not the Galaxy, guys. It's called the, oh my God, I just had it. The Galaxy Leader. This cargo ship commandeered by the Houthi.
Who owns the Galaxy? Who is that? An American
Israeli magnet, not magnet, but a Israeli billionaire owns this cargo ship. I believe that the hostages are still being held captive. I don't know their condition. Supposedly, the family of these, I believe these are Indonesians, 17 Indonesians, a Mexican, I believe it's 1 or 2 Japanese. Now, I understand what's going on with these Houthi firing ballistic. I believe it's not even ballistic missiles. It's what are they firing at is it ballistic missiles?
I think it's ballistic. I heard it was, I mean, it's a pretty high level missile. It's all, to be clear, it's being funded by Iran. Just so it's not, this is not just Yemen.
allegedly funded by Iran, right? Allegedly. Right. So here goes the thing. You guys are seeing it from the military's perspective. I'm seeing it from me being a greedy capitalist. I don't want the price of food to go up. I don't want the price of oil to go up. I don't want the price of electronics to continue to go up. We already have inflation right now. And what is going to happen if this choke point is constantly commandeered by these people who are anti-West? Check this out for a minute, guys. I don't want to be long-winded, but I want to hit people up to speed. The Houthi, they view the Saudis, the UAE, Egypt, Jordan, Morocco, France, the United States, the United Kingdom, Israel, and Japan as enemies. They view, now check this out, I did a little research here. They view Iran, Syria, North Korea, allegedly, Libya, Russia as allies or non-aggression combatants. Now, from my, primitive understanding of geopolitics, from my understanding as just a simple guy living on a floating rock in infinity, what is about to happen or what can potentially happen is far worse than ballistic missiles being fired at warships. I'm telling you, it is about to be some sort of economic catastrophe, because we can clearly see it now in America with the price of goods literally sky high. These people are anti-West. They are anti-West. And what kills me is that people don't understand. People don't give a damn. People are so unaware of this group. This group is, in my opinion, possibly worse than that Al-Qaeda group. These people want Sharia law. They want it there in their occupied part of Yemen. They want it in all of Yemen. And truth be told, they want it in all of the Middle East. These people, and I gotta say it, man, and I don't know what you guys feel about Islam. That religion is so dangerous on a global scale, considering the fact that Christianity has made impressive inroads in developing this floating bubble rock in infinity. I am telling you, that religion is very dangerous.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Muslims out there in the chat, though. Go ahead.
We've talked about the percentages. Like, it's not like it's a small amount. I mean, first off, Muslims and the religion of Islam makes up for I think 2 billion people worldwide or somewhere around there. And the actual percentage done by Pew Research shows about 9% are okay with the violence against civilians. 9% of 100 people, that's 9 people. 9% of 2 billion people, you're talking in the hundreds of millions. This is an incredibly dangerous situation. So like you said, I'm not against good Muslim people, good people, whatever. In the United States, mostly good Muslim people, but I think they've forgotten what Sharia law is, and they've forgotten what is actually happening in their home country. And that's why I continue to, Casey and I go back and forth about the importance and what's going on in Israel. And by the way, this whole Yemenis, this attack from the Houthis is not there. This isn't random. They're using the worldwide support of Palestine to do this, because they're not going after American warships. They're going after Israeli warships. It just so happens to have everybody out there. So they're attacking everything and anything indiscriminately. And this is all based on the fact that somehow the world has been brainwashed to thinking we have to protect Palestine.
Yeah.
Has the world been brainwashed to protect Palestine by what tool?
The media.
Or TikTok? The media or TikTok?
Modern media.
Modern media, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to put them both together.
Social media.
That's how I feel. How do you think bin Laden came into the forefront in the last 2 months when we haven't even said his name for a decade?
Casey, I did a video. I don't know if you know this. I did a live stream about this the other day. Did you guys? Are you guys up to speed?
I saw the title. Yeah, it was like three shows ago.
21-year-old bimbos, both black and white girls. I can't believe it. They're up there quoting certain paragraphs or sentences from this man's manifesto, basically saying to kill Western people, Americans, and these idiots not knowing history, growing up in this, post-apocalyptic feminist society where white men are bad, the West is bad. They are not smart enough to realize that that man would kill you in a heartbeat, would kill you, especially these LGBT women who are so in love with Palestine. That's funny.
That's the craziest hypocrisy. Like,
Yeah.
The dichotomy of that itself makes me say, I am sorry, you're not on the same intellectual plane as I am. Look, I'm a conservative that is pro-gay marriage. I don't care. Do whatever you want with your life. That's not, it's hands off. Do what you want. But to actually think that there are people that understand Sharia law, understand what Islam is, understand what goes on in Gaza and Palestine, and just their general way of life, and Israel is far from perfect. I know that. But to actually side with these people that literally will behead homosexuals, and in this country, we're going, there's not enough gay rights. Free Palestine. You all are dumb. You're stupid people. Sorry, did we mute you? Sorry, you're good.
No, I'm muting myself. It was actually I hit my mic.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
No, you're on point, Russo. And again, everybody knows where my stance is America first. Like, why is this a thing? Our government, thankfully Johnson is making some logical decisions right now. It's America first, because he's already passed his Israel support bill, but the Senate isn't doing anything with it. Kind of a good thing. But when it comes to this entire situation, at least we can start looking at it and we can start saying, yeah, what they're doing over there is wrong. You got to start looking at this from a logical view. Stop believing TikTok. Stop believing the media, and form your own opinion. The problem is these media, social media platforms are able to manipulate simple minds. And so that is how they're formulating these opinions. And that is where we have to stop, and we have to shut down TikTok. We have to.
But what if something's not, I don't think it's possible to shut it down at this point, especially with this current administration. So essentially we just have to counter the narrative, which is why I continue to talk on it, why I think it's so important to talk on it. I think that, and I want to go back to something that CT said earlier. So talking about, this is the brink of something much, much bigger, like, whether it's from consumer goods, whether it's war, whether it's XYZ, look what's coming up in a calendar year. It's an election. Right now, the ball is rolling so fast in the direction of a Republican win. The only way to stop it is to not allow an election. That?
Republican win or just a Trump win? It's rolling so fast only into a Trump win. If Trump is not on the Republican ticket, it's going to stop real quick.
Right. And keep going back and forth, because something you said about Johnson, you were very concerned, and I was, a little bit like, let's look at this. What's that?
I still am with him.
Right.
I don't like him.
I like him, but we were concerned about the Ukraine bill, the bill for you where he was not Ukraine. I'm sorry, Israel, the Israel spending bill. You brought up something very interesting. Because he is pulling money directly from other government programs, it's not passing. So it's almost the world's best okie doke, where he is literally doing something knowing it won't pass, as we all don't want to give any more money to Israel or Ukraine, anybody with a brain or anybody with a conservative shred in their body. So he did something where he goes, I know you're not going to allow me to pull from XYZ program. So this is the bill. If you want to give Ukraine, or if you want to give Israel 14 billion or whatever it was, there it is. And it's not getting signed. Like you said, I think Mike Johnson really is the real deal. And I think it's a huge deal that we have him in there.
If you guys don't mind, and to go back on the Houthi real quick,
of course,
are you guys aware of the slogan? I don't know if you guys have seen their flag. It's like,
go ahead.
God is the greatest. Death to America. Death to Israel. A curse upon the Jews. Victory to Islam. You guys have to check out their flag.
They didn't mean that. They were just speaking in hyperbole.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So, is that really the 5 lines on their flag?
Yeah, that's their flag.
Here,
that is their flag.
People. Let me show this. Pull it up on the screen, because
that is their flag. Yeah,
I did not know this. I'm looking at their flag. So if we were to pull this up, you got their 5 lines here. That is what it is saying.
That's what it's saying.
Say it again. Say while we can actually visualize it right there.
Let's do it again. I'll say it again. God is the greatest. Death to America. Death to Israel. A curse upon Jews. Victory to Islam.
So you've been fact checked, CT. It actually translates to Summer of Love. That's what it translates to.
Yeah. Yemen had a president, Ali Abdullah Saleh. You know, I'm butchering these Arabic names. Pro-America, pro-Saudi, pro-West. The Houthi ousted him. I have to be honest here, and please, if you're Muslims that are watching, Casey and Anthony, this is me saying this. Look at anywhere the West has gone. Look at what the West does in terms of development, in terms of institutions, infrastructure, just overall society. And I have to ask you, why on earth do you continue to want to live in a primitive or a thinking paradigm? Islam, I gotta say it, man, and this is me, it's a primitive paradigm. It's a primitive way of thinking, from human rights to the way they treat their women to just overall. I was on a Muslim panel.
Wait a second, CT.
Yeah.
Human rights? They don't believe in human rights?
And wait,
but wait, all the people in America that are marching for them, they're all human rights.
They don't, because the people in America are ignorant and stupid. And a lot of these people, just like me when I was in college, I went to a very liberal arts college. Oh, man, listen, growing up, my neighbors were white. Growing up, my best teachers were white. But when I got in college and got around those blackity black teachers, oh, man, I for 1 or 2 semesters, man, I was pro blackity black. I used to hate white people. I'm like, oh, no. And what it is that your brain is so underdeveloped at that age that's when they can get you. That's when they can really brainwash you. And I believe that's what's happening with a lot of these stupid liberal kids in their protest against Israel and in support of Palestine. My question is to these people is, why don't other countries want the Palestinians? My question is, why doesn't Sana'a, which is the capital of, what is now the Houthi power structure? I don't know if they really have jurisdiction there. Why does it look like the 1st century BC? You have to ask yourself these questions, man. Why does the UAE look like the goddamn future? Excuse my language.
You're good.
Versus other Muslim countries. Could it be that the West is I'm kind of rhyming here. The West is the best?
It was, and it still can be.
It still is.
Yeah,
I will stand by that. It still is until I'm dead, but the West is the best.
Do you remember, Casey, do you remember Chuck Holton?
He was, I know the name, but I don't know why.
He was one of the first people to interview Cash. Chuck Holton, it's some kind of like drop zone or something like that. He is one of the first people that interviewed Cash. Really great guy. We did a group show together. He's gotten really, really big he goes to all these places. He's ex-military. He goes. So he did a show this morning, and this is one of the things I actually forgot to bring it into the conversation. Almost forgot to. He spoke with a Blackwater contractor, by the way. Interesting situation there, and talking about what's going on in Israel, and what reminded me, CT, is the fact that there's a group that funds a lot of what goes on over there, which they believe in Sharia law. I'm drawing a blank. It's a very American sounding name. It's like Khasan, Croissant. I don't know. Casey, if you can find it, great. If not, I'm going to post the Chuck Holton show this morning. I'll post it in the comment section. But this group that funds Sharia law out there, terrorism, all of these different groups. In fact, we think China is the largest donor to American colleges and education. It's actually this group specifically, which is literally based in Sharia law. I'm going to go ahead and look it up first. Oh, Skeptical's back. Sweet Mother Mary. He's here. Let's see. This is our favorite troll, by the way. Let's see. Let's get him started early. Let's get him fueled up because he's good content. I mean, like it or not, Islam has a right to exist however it wants. You can't kill someone because they don't like your way of life. Now, I agree. If they just said, I don't like your way of life, instead they say, I want to kill you. And in that sense, bring it. Go ahead. CG.
What happened on October 7th?
Nothing. It was a freedom fighters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean the day of jihad or jihad?
Because if we're talking about killing somebody, what happened, which is what started all of this conversation, is October 7th, and that was these people being stupid and attacking people that were minding their own business at the moment.
Do you mind bringing that comment up real quick so I can address that comment? So Skepti says, and excuse me, guys, I'm very hoarse. You know, I was getting over a cold, and then I was screaming the other day on my channel. I mean, like it or not, Islam has a right to exist however it wants to. You can't kill someone just because they don't like your way of life. If you think it does, you are no better than the extremists. To you, my good sir Skepti, I get it. You're young. You're probably 23, 24. You're in college. You're probably working on your master's degree. I get it, sir. I was like you before. But let me ask you a question, Skepti. Who ushered in the computer age? Who ushered in the industrial age? Give me the names of Muslim philanthropic organizations on the same scale as the Red Cross, the United Way. Give me the names of institutions such as Harvard and Yale that were founded by Christians and for Christian clergy. Give me the names of not give me the names, but just let me know what Islam is doing to continue the posterity of human civilization. I get it. You guys are absolutists. Oh, I get it. Oh yeah. You guys will behead somebody if they draw a cartoon image of Muhammad. I get that. You guys are way more hardcore than Christians in terms of being absolutist to a doctrine. But I am telling you, Islam is keeping the human race behind. And I get it, man. I have a question though. Why is it that when Muslims come to America, all of a sudden they become liberals? How come what's that woman's name in Congress right now?
Ilhan Omar.
How come she's not a Republican? That's fascinating. How come the mayor in Dearborn, who's a Muslim, who's 32, he's a millennial, how come he's not a Republican? If anything, you would think that these people would be conservative. These people don't even want to be Muslim, to be honest with you. They want to be moderate. They're really on the fence. They love the secular culture that we have in America. So for these people who have extremist views like the Houthi and other terrorist cells that I call them, they want to live in the Stone Age. And that's the problem. Nothing wrong with Islam as a whole. I had a lot of Muslim friends growing up. But the problem is that when you want everybody to live under your absolutism, if that's even a word.
I like there's elements of Islam that I like. Yeah. The fact that they are very tied to behavior, respecting elders, family oriented. They just hate everything outside of their family. And to this comment, Christians that want to kill LGBTQ, that's not true. They damn them to hell. There's Christians that will say, and I know that there's some extreme Christians that are out there, but they do not want to behead and kill them, because the ultimate idea behind Christianity is one of the ultimate, thou shalt not kill. So this is just not accurate. I'm skeptical of your statement there. And the last thing we'll do with him, and then we'll go to the next bit of information. 40 with 2 kids. And Islam inventing numbers. I actually think that is correct, but there's been a lot of progress since then. They're still stuck on that invention of numbers. And the fact that you have 2 kids leads me to believe that women will sleep with anything sometimes. Okay. Speaking of that, total different news. Big breaking news. I had it on my news break 4 times. Kristen Cavallari from the show The Hills, Laguna Beach. It's big news that she said it doesn't matter how long it takes to sleep, to get intimate with the guy you're with. The fact that this broke on my news break 4 times is mind-boggling. And as a whole, who cares? If you hook up with the guy the first time or the 10th time, I don't really care. I don't care.
I find it funny that you know her by the show. I know
Great
her
show.
by Jay Cutler's girlfriend.
Yeah,
I don't know
and I know her
at
by
all.
both.
So
Yeah. Once you've had a little Chicago inside of you, you know.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, moving on. Why do you allow us? Because it's content, Marla. We're just having a little fun. Let's get back on track, though. So let's continue a little bit more with the Hamas side. And again, that was some of the conversations I had with some of the conversation that I watched with Chuck Holton is, so the ceasefire was broken. I do think and he talked a lot about behind the scenes what happened with how did the greatest intelligence system in the world allow that to happen. And it sounds like, and they admitted, I guess they admitted in the last week that they knew something was potentially happening. And they actually had a meeting about it the night before, and they were reconvening at 8 a.m. Very convenient. Do I think that there might have been something that slipped through the cracks on purpose by some shady character in the Israeli government? I'm not against that being a possibility. But at the end of the day, the people that did the murdering are still Hamas. There's videos of them ripping clothes off of women, shredding them, it's disgusting. And now they're even saying, and even American politicians, Democrats, are saying, although rape is horrific, it is part of war. Go ahead.
Again, you literally have a book, and you know all of this, man. You know, this is like to the choir speaking to you guys. Of course, you know, you literally have a book that tells these people that it is correct, that God himself is commanding. You are commanded to do these acts, and these people will justify it. PBD, Patrick Bet David had he had 2 Christians and 2 Muslims on the show. The Muslims did not deny anything. They said if there is jurisdiction, there is nothing wrong with killing apostates, with killing people who blaspheme Islam, because God himself commands it. So what happened there is it's par for the course with these people. But go ahead. I don't want to take over.
No, you're good. I mean, that's exactly so. For example, with the ceasefire being broken, and it's mind-boggling. So this is a friend of mine that's been on the show before, one of the few people that was always willing to kind of mix it up and go across lines. Her name's Yosra. Her and I started getting into it again. It's been years since we had kind of the political argument, but she is Muslim. She is very pro-Palestine, which is hilarious to me because she's in so many of the LGBTQ marches. She's got rainbow everything, but her home country, so she's got to stick up for them. So she now reposted about Palestine, Gaza under attack, because, you know, Palestinian lives matter. Death toll in Gaza is now at 16,000. And mad about the breaking of the ceasefire. Mad about the fact that Gaza is getting attacked again, ignoring the fact that the reason they're getting attacked is they didn't uphold their end of the bargain of the ceasefire. Go ahead, CT.
I want people to just do some research here. Muhammad killed hundreds of people, including Jews. So this group, Hamas, what do you think they'll do when they see those beautiful Jewish people? It's weird to me, like, you know, how people are looking at this like, man, why would Hamas do this? The Israelis, it wasn't their land in the first place. What people don't understand is that you literally have a group of people who still are living in the primitive age. They're living in the pre-industrial age. They really are, to be completely honest with you. So what happened there didn't surprise me. Hell, that's what they're told to do. They're told that these people who are not Muslim are your enemies. They're your natural enemy. So killing them means nothing to them. Of course they're going to break the ceasefire. They'll break 50 more. Go ahead.
I want to ask you a very specific question. Casey and I have had this conversation before. So the leftists, I think it's mind-boggling that they are on the ultra-Palestinian side, but they're just looking for a signal to virtue. It's mind-boggling based on their opinions on all the other human rights things. But to me, what's still frightening is how many conservatives, the ultra-right conservatives, and I don't know if you've seen this on your groups, that are legitimately going, and it's not just Casey is very like pro-America, let's stay out of it. And I totally understand that, but they're very much like Israel is just as bad. They're the ones that have been butchering babies. There is a far-right faction of the conservative movement
that believes that Israel is bad.
That believes that we should not be. What's happening to Palestine is criminal. Israel is 100% the modern day Nazis.
Well, there's a lot of evidence that I have seen. I don't know whether it's, factual or not. I have seen videos of what appears to be indiscriminate killings of Palestinians by the IDF. I don't know whether it's, it's true or not. I don't, like I said,
I think
we're
it's
just getting
true.
Okay. Man, see, to me, that's a little bit tricky.
Are you a sports fan?
Am I a sports fan? No, I'm casual. No.
But enough to know this kind of reference. So the thing is, this war goes back and forth, and they indiscriminately hurt and kill each other, and that's just kind of part of it. And fact is, if you show a video out of context of Israeli soldier, IDF killing a Palestinian in a sick, twisted way, people will be ignoring the fact that this is in retaliation to something that it went the other way, and it goes back and forth. And I'm not, and as I've said, Israel is not innocent, but to think that they're not the lesser of two evils from the conservative faction is mind-boggling.
Okay,
That's what I say.
I got you.
That's it. I think it's odd. So let's go.
Let me add on to that real quick.
Go ahead,
because yes, I am anti everything about this conflict. It's not our problem. Let them deal with it. They've been.
So you're not a neocon.
No, it's we can't even pay our own bills, but we want to fund their war. Like, really?
Or Ukraine's anymore. What's interesting is we're nickel and diming what Israel does when last week there are people that were still celebrating Henry Kissinger. I think that's fascinating. Henry Kissinger is the creator of the carpet bomb. He's the creator. Like what they're doing in Gaza right now doesn't even touch what our own government did in Cambodia. Like, it doesn't touch it. And Henry Kissinger was still celebrated in many ways for what he did. I think it's comical that we think what Israel is doing, that we can judge it, not understanding what has gone on at their borders for decades since the late 40s.
The only thing that you can add to this is what you get when you have big government. You have big government making decisions, and they're doing things to keep war and conflict going so they can keep funneling money to them and their friends' pockets. That is exactly why this is a problem.
I agree. I'll agree with that.
And that's why I do understand when people say Israel is not innocent in this situation, is that it's the Israeli government. So what are we talking about? 0.01% of the population of Israel really is in that situation. And yes, I agree. It's the same as the U.S. government. The U.S. government had a big part in this entire thing. They could have ended up just backing out, but no, they encouraged Israel to keep going on, and they keep sending money to Israel. And then we're like, oh, sorry, little redheaded stepchild of Ukraine. We're not going to give you any more money because we're now giving it to Ukraine. This is what happens when you have big government. They start passing the money to other places. And that's why you can't be enabling this. What do you think, CT?
Okay, so I'm going to, and I said this on my show. I get it. I get everything about big government. I get it. I get it. But don't you want to go to Israel and there's beach resorts all up and down the Gaza Strip? Don't you want that? I mean, let's be honest, right? So is it really that bad that the United States government subsidizes and gives a lot of money to Israel? Because I mean, it can be argued that Israel is the gateway to the Middle East. It can be argued that Israel sort of is like a buffer state. It can be argued that Israel might be the future of the Middle East. Now, a lot of people on my channel didn't like what I was saying about that, but I have to say this: wherever Jews go, they actually. We don't even have to talk about the Nobel Prize winners. We don't have to talk about in terms of industry that despite the fact that these people represent less than 1% of the world's population, they are 25% of industry leaders, etc. So is it possible that the United States government is seeing 50 years into the future, 100 years? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think that's it. But I'm actually on the same path as you. I would not get mad at you for that statement, but I would actually buffer it in a slightly different way. So take what you just said. So I think the capital, the way that it sounds capitalistic to be like, don't we want these great things? I think that could rub some people wrong. You're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong though. But from a military aspect, the highest level of intelligence and technology is our ally is Israel. We fund them, yes, quite a bit. We also fund countries that are their enemies mathematically more so than we fund Israel. So it's not out of the question, but it's not like it's out of the realm that we're just only pro-Israel. We fund everybody, which is bullshit. But when it comes to Israel, they have, if we're going to have one of the toughest allies in the world in a very small space, and yes, like you said, kind of the gateway to the Middle East, if we need some backing out there, at least we have Israel, which I think does require some funding. I don't think it requires any more right now. I say give them the green light, let them do whatever they have to do. But we give a lot of money, and I think a lot of it is justified. If you need to have a stronghold in another part of the world that has your back, in a world that hates the West, when you've got that many Muslim-led countries that want to end the West, you have to have allies. How do you get allies when you're United States of America? You break off bread.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Like, the thing is though, Israel has enough armory, they have enough power, they can handle it on their own without our intervention. The entire thing with Hamas, the entire thing.
Agreed.
Israel, and all of the followers know this. Israel funded and created Hamas. They could wipe them off the planet if they wanted, but they don't. And I think that is all a big play of big government. That is where they don't want to. Why did America not wipe out the Taliban and get rid of them? And then they just handed Afghanistan back to the Taliban so we can revisit the issue in 10, 20 years. That is exactly what big government does around the world.
There's money.
And so you have to wipe them out. If you are going to engage in war, wipe them out. That's what you have to do.
So in other news, we're out of money for Ukraine and Biden's begging for more. I don't know if we need to really talk about that much, except for the fact, stop giving money to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Did you see what the mayor said in Kiev? The mayor of Kiev?
No.
He said, Russia's going to win the war if Ukraine doesn't get any money.
We're literally getting manipulated by a sugar baby. That's what it is. Like this hot girl, like, I'm going to stop going to the club with you, old man. If you stop giving me money, we ain't going to Cheesecake Factory anymore. You ain't going to show me off, and I don't get to show you my booty while you masturbate. That's what's happening.
The question I have is I'm sorry, Anthony, go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead. You're way too polite.
The question I have is, does anybody in America, common folk like us, do we really know what's going on over there? I still don't know after 2 years. Like, what is really going on over there? Is it because Russia didn't want Ukraine to join NATO? Ukraine was a buffer state for Russia. What is really going on there? Pipelines. What is really going on there?
It's above our pay grade, but you kind of outlined everything going on. And in all reality, if you look at it from don't think about how bad Putin is, because he is a piece of garbage. We know that. Like, he's not innocent. But if you look at the whole argument going on there, Russia had a point. Russia had a serious point Ukraine broke the rules. They broke the rules that they had agreed upon for decades. And then we broke our rules with Ukraine, and then NATO broke their rules. And ultimately they were already treating the Donbass region really poorly. Any Russian out there was being treated worse than the Palestinians in Gaza. Like it was getting kind of ugly. So it's much more multidimensional than Putin and Russia bad, Ukraine good. And we've said that since day 3. I didn't say day 1. Yeah. Day 3, what was going on there? The one time Sunni was right. Yeah. She got me to see the light, and I was like, oh, okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
And, obviously I identify as a white man, but as a black man, why and how are Ukrainian women so hot? Has anybody ever asked that question? How did they get so hot? It is a third world European country.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
that's something to look into.
Yeah,
I think that might be the uncovered stone in the whole thing. Hunter Biden said, well, Hunter Biden did have text messages to Ukrainian hookers, so that makes a lot of sense. I believe that was on there, wasn't that was one of the things, Casey?
I didn't know it was Ukrainian hookers. Okay.
He said he didn't want the Asian because he didn't like, he used an Asian slur. And he was talking to, and he really did. This is real. This is the president's son, but Trump is an asshole.
Is it really an Asian slur?
He referred to a color.
Yeah, it was. I think it was very just weak, but yeah, if you want to say an Asian slur,
I can't say
you like RFK, so I'll give you that. That's okay.
Anyways, we're gonna move quick on this. I forgot to make an announcement at the beginning of the show, by the way. And Casey, I didn't even tell you this. For everybody that bought books, I'll do another thing. So I still don't have the full answer, but that day, the day that we did the big book drive for the Art of Doubling Down, my book, when we did that, we got all the way up to number 12,000 for the day of all Kindle sales, which doesn't sound like much, but that's in the top 1%. So I reached out to the publisher, the owner of the publishing company today, said, you won't actually know, this is the thing, you won't actually know where you ranked in the categories until the paperback is released, which is in April 12th. April 2nd. When it's released. Yep. So I'll know then, but he said if you made it to the top 25,000, which I made 12,000, if you make it to the top 25,000, you probably were number one in at least 3 categories. So I think we did good enough. That was the latest news that I got. And last call, double down strategy at gmail.com. If you want the hard copy, just tell me you're going to send $10. We'll figure that out. Send me an email there and I'll send you a signed copy. So that's it. I'm only going to do that a little bit longer because, again, I'm doing that just at the cost of mailing. So I would like to actually make some money on the books. All right. Rhonda, did you order? I forgot because I didn't see your email. Maybe you did email. If you did email, just make sure everybody that emailed, if you don't get a book in like a week and a half, because I'm sending them out at the end of the week, let me know and I'll make sure to send them out signed. All right. Let's get into the last couple topics real fast. James Carville, the ragin' Cajun, goes on Bill Maher and essentially says that Mike Johnson is one of the biggest dangers to this country because of his Christian nationalism views, which is weird because James Carville tends to sometimes be a moderate Democrat, an atheist, moderate Democrat. I believe as though his wife is a Republican, interestingly enough. But James Carville said this on the Bill Maher show, which is fascinating because Bill Maher has made some steps more to the middle, especially when it comes to transgender sports and all these different things. But he is still like the world's most proclaimed atheist. So he's okay with those kind of statements being said. How fascinating is it that the current Democratic stance is that white nationalism and Christianity, Christian nationalism is the biggest threat to our country above and beyond terrorism?
Clickbait. That's all I got to say. That's all he wants is clickbait.
But I think that the more that, just like Trump, and I hate saying this to Casey, the more that Trump keeps getting attacked, as much as I am against his vaccination stances, the more I'm starting to like Trump again, because it's like, you know what? Screw it. Burn it down. Burn these people down in a sense. And the more people become Trump deranged, the more I like him again. And as for Mike Johnson, the more people hate and shame him, the more I like him.
Yeah, I want to know CT's thoughts because everybody already knows, like my addressment with Trump and all of those things. But what do you think, CT?
Do you guys have time? You have time?
Always.
Okay. Imagine, if you will, and I'm pretty sure you guys have experienced this as well. And I've experienced this. You grow up, both of your parents, they fed you every day, provided a beautiful life for you. Then one day, because you're 17, 18, you rebel. Mom, Dad, I don't agree with this. And you curse your parents out, not in a vulgar way, but you turn on your parents. I get what's going on in this country. I get with Carville. That's the guy from Louisiana.
The
I get
ragin
what he's
Cajun.
doing. I get what a lot of people are doing. They're turning on their two-parent household in the suburbs because they're rebelling for whatever reason. Now, chaotic, what are you talking about? What are you getting at? Well, I'm gonna tell you what I'm getting at. I look at facts here. I look at facts, right? Let's talk about charitable organization. Now, what did Carville say about Christianity again?
He said, let's see. He was saying that it is the biggest threat to America
Okay.
above the level of terrorism.
Okay.
The level of Middle Eastern terrorism.
To name a few charitable organizations: Catholic Charities, World Vision International, Samaritan's Purse, Salvation Army, Food for Hungry, World Relief, Christian Aid, Habitat for Humanity International. So here goes Christian organizations, charitable organizations that feed, house, because we know the Salvation Army, they house some of their members, house people, collect donations for other means. They're not committing terrorism, those organizations. They're not blowing up bridges and roads, etc. Let's look at hospitals. How many hospitals have been founded under the veil of Christianity? Last time I checked, when you go into a hospital, the doctor doesn't kill you. The nurse doesn't kill you. Well, at least on purpose, they don't. Here goes a religion that you can argue some of the greatest educational institutions were founded under: Harvard, Yale. I know it's not in America. I believe Oxford was founded as a Christian institution at one point, and the list goes on. Certainly, I mean, I will have to admit a lot of these institutions are liberal now, Harvard being one of them now, but they're not committing acts of, well, overt terrorism. They're not blowing up coffee shops. So when I hear people disparage Christianity, I constantly remind them of the institutions, the land ownership, the overall good deeds that this religion is doing and will continue to do. People in Christianity are not perfect, but you have to admit the founders of these institutions, the clergy, they are doing the work or continuing the work of Jesus Christ to a degree, while a lot of the terrorists are continuing the work of Muhammad, which was outright killing Jews and Christians. Let's be honest. So I can't stand when we have rebellion in America, rebellious children, which would be adults, talking about Christianity. It's not the perfect religion, but I challenge anybody to debate me on that topic, because all you got to do is open your eyes, and wherever in any city, you can see hospitals, schools, nonprofit organizations, all under the veil of Christianity. Go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
No, it's interesting. So I was like, you know what? Let me do some quick Googling. What's fun fact about, I just looked I'd have to do a deep dive. So charitable Islamic foundations are mostly those giving to Islamic countries from the United States of America. And if you actually look at the Islamic foundations, the only charities that are actually formed in Islamic countries give money to their religion. They don't give money to human causes. That's why they look like they're stuck in the 1st century BC, because they don't actually give to the poor. They don't give to, they're stuck in a crap system where they give to their government, to their religion, and the charitable foundations literally just give to charitable foundations give from other countries. Like literally, I'm looking at the founders. Yeah, they're Muslim in religion and a lot of these different ones, but they went to school in the United States of America, and they're giving back to their home country and the poor people there. Nothing is being done by actual Muslims in Islam in those countries. Go ahead.
St. Thomas Hospital, St. Bartholomew's Hospital, John Hopkins, the Mayo Clinic,
all of them Christian base.
Christian Medical College. Mercy College. I can go on and on with this person in the chat about listen. You're not gonna win with institutions. To this person in the chat, you're just not gonna win when it comes to institutions. Christianity literally feeds millions of people globally on a daily basis. It houses people globally on a daily basis. Anthony's right. You don't see Islamic charitable organizations across the globe. You just don't. And I'll say this as a Black person, because I'm fluid. I could be white and Black. The only thing that I see that Muslims do in America, I gotta say it, they open up corner stores and sell liquor to a population of people that they don't even want to associate around. I gotta call it like I see it. I gotta call it every time. Listen, the only interaction a lot of Blacks have with Arab Muslims, other than pretending to be Muslims and going to some masjid, whatever they call it, respectfully to the Muslims, respectfully, the only interaction you will see is Arab Muslims selling Black communities poison. Whereas white Christians, the abolition of slavery, a lot of abolitionists were Christian. A lot of people who founded HBCUs who were white were Christian. A lot of whites have you have to look at the ideology and the ideology of Christianity and what it has done or manifested in the physical realm with the tools that Christianity has. You got to see what the people are doing with those tools, and you can clearly see it. That's all I was saying. Go ahead.
Fact. There it is. And then really quick, I want to put this up just because it is important. They actually talked about it on the Crowder show today. This is one of the funniest leftist comments. If Trump gets back in the presidency, he's never going to leave. You realize that. So there's been a big push. His goal is to prevent another election. There's been actually a very, very big push right now in media the last week to make it seem that it's like they're looking for something to stick. The indictments aren't sticking. Nothing is getting his momentum away. So now they're saying that he's going to be a dictator. They used that before. They're reusing it again. And the fact that he was president, didn't believe the election was fair, and still left the presidency is why this is another one of the dumbest statements any leftist can make. I'm not going to get too much into it. Just know that that is a perfect argument for why you are dumb. Last thing, let's really, really, really fast. Let's do this in 3 minutes or less. Fulton County, $500 fine. So if everybody remembers the Wendy's that got burnt down, and I'm bringing this
during the Summer of Love.
The Summer of
Love.
Yep.
Summer of Love. So
they finally got their fine. It was a white chick, Black dude, $500 fine, and I think probation. Is that what it was? I just know the $500 fine.
Yeah, just $500 fine.
The BLM rioters that torched the Wendy's. Now there's a guy who is definitely African, Siaka Masakwai. He's an actor. He was actually at the Daily Wire premiere. Did I butcher that?
Oh, yeah. Got arrested. Yep.
Yeah, he got arrested. So he was FBI raided 2 years ago. He literally only went about 30 feet further than I did, by the way, at the Capitol. He went in the door frame is what they're saying. He actually went a little bit past the threshold. 2 years after that, which is now last week, he got arrested for offenses tied to January 6th. We're still punishing people that were near the building, that walked into the building, yet the people that burnt down a Wendy's got a $500 fine.
The thing that's ridiculous about this whole thing is, I am going to butcher his name because I'm just not good at it, and I apologize to the man that is a very solid American that does support American values, because he actually was even in the video that premiere was about, which is Lady Ballers from Daily Wire. And so he walked out of that and was arrested at the airport when he tried to get on a plane to go back home. This is the type of America that the left wants you to be in, that you fear to even leave your house or a movie theater premiering you just making a joke out of society being so stupid today. That is literally what happened, because you can't say he did anything on January 6th, but they just discovered it now, but not when they raided his home or tried to address him 2 years ago.
I said it yesterday, I'll say it today, and I'll say it tomorrow. January 6th was a tour guide. It was a tour. It was a guided tour, not tour guide. It was a guided tour. Fun facts for you guys. Black Lives Matter riots, $2 billion worth of property damage over a crackhead, by the way. Now, here goes the thing. You're not accounting for a loss in people not traveling. Oh, man, I'm not going to the downtown area to that restaurant. I may get killed by one of these Black Lives Matter protesters. So think about the loss in business, not just the property damage, the loss in traffic or oil. What other losses can you have?
Future revenue. I mean, you
future
said,
revenue,
you have future
etc.
revenue. You got tourism. You've got
tourism is another one.
Psychological issues, obviously, of those business owners. There's a lot.
So we can argue that it might be $5-6 billion in damage. That's a goddamn terrorist organization, if you ask me. Oh, burning down the Wendy's. You guys are just protesting because you guys are constantly victims. What the media, politicians, even the Einstein Michael Sherwin, who for some reason he didn't charge he didn't charge no more than 10 BLM protesters, but he charged 400 J6 rioters, or he even got me saying it, J6 individuals. Even he sided with BLM. This is the attorney general. Is the attorney general for DC?
Yeah.
He's the attorney general for DC. He sided with BLM, and BLM was destroying cities. What did J6 do? What did the people in J6 do?
$1.7 million of damage. And that was because some of them were priceless artifacts. At the end of the day, if it was a regular building, it was like $50,000 in damage max. And by the way, those rioters picked up trash.
Yeah. So we have a country that, in my opinion, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. They constantly want to keep a certain group of people feeling like victims, Black people. You have, in my opinion, very racist white people on the left, who constantly want to feel like Black people are victims so that they can feel superior. And you have a media that makes money, because I think the media could give a damn, but the media can make money with the lives of a dead Black man, because surely we have all types of white men who are killed. I know that white guy in the hotel room, forgot his name. He was gunned down by that crazy cop because he moved the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember that guy's
Colorado
name. But see, white victims don't make any money, or white deaths don't make any money for the media. But check out the ratings for BLM and the protest for CNN. Check out the masses amount of people. So it's really a problem in America with this idea that race is paramount, which is not. So you get whites who are rioting at the Capitol building, which is a public building. You can go inside of it. It fits the narrative for racism. All the while, the actual terrorists, the actual people who are destroying cities, they can be labeled as, this is just guys protesting all the evil, hate in America. It just constantly reinforces the idea of victimhood, and this cycle will constantly continue, but not under my watch. See, you have Black people like me that will call out the BS. See, and I think that's why America will fear the Negro Whisperer like me and Candace Owens and Officer Tatum and the conservative twins. See, you have a lot of Blacks, Anthony Brian Logan, you have a lot of, in Black conservative perspective, you have a lot of Blacks that are coming up the woodwork saying, wait a minute, no. There is no overt systemic racism. The last time I checked, you can, when I was in college, there was nothing stopping me from walking inside that mathematics building. There was nothing stopping me from walking inside the biology building. But a lot of Blacks and a lot of liberal whites get underwater basket weaving degrees, and they become perpetual victims because really they don't really have anything else to do with their degrees. That's why they can march and get the media and be in the media and be in politics. Look at all the nuts we have in Congress. These people were underwater basket weaving, receiving individuals, and they were and they played a game of victimhood because it fits their narrative. But I'm talking you guys' head off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was great. That was great right there. We're going to go and wrap it. So go ahead and tell everybody one more time where they can find you, Chaotic Truth.
You can find me at the Chaotic Truth Live. I want to thank you guys so much for allowing me up on the panel, man. Thank you so much.
And as Rose said right here, come back soon. We'd love that. I have, let's see, I put in the chat the link to that Chuck Holton, and I'll go ahead and do it again. Great interview to watch. We're also, maybe next week we'll talk about the Bippin in San Francisco, that ridiculous video, Casey. Sweet Mother Mary. Whew. And I'll last before Casey gives the final words. Again, check out the Wake Not Woke store. Do I even have a banner for it? I didn't make a banner for it, but I'll throw up just the regular one. We'll leave all the other advertisements off on this. I have it just with the 30%. So just go to awakenotwokestore.com. Again, that's awakenotwokestore.com. The Cashley Kelly collection on there with all of his cash, free cash shirts. Every dollar of the proceeds will go to him when he gets out, whenever that may be, in the next week, in the next month, whatever. We're excited to have him back. And then if you use cash at the checkout, everything else is 20% off. Those are full price, but everything else is 20% off. All right, that's all I got. Casey, go ahead and take us home.
My big thing right now is what's on my mind, and I'm sure a lot on your guys' mind, is pray for Cash. Like, we really have to come together, pray for Cash. He needs to be out now. We're at the finish line, and I look forward to this day. When Russo texted me last week that things might be happening sooner than later, I got super excited. And this is something that I really want to make sure that we see through. We get him home with his family. He can start coming back, sharing his message that he's always done for all of the time. Be ready for when Cash comes out. He's going to be coming in like a world. Man, he's going to be on fire.
That he found out he should have been out 6 months ago. That's a real story. And that's how we're going to wrap up the show. God bless, guys. Have a fantastic evening and good night.
Have a good one.
You didn't do any CT. You like singing. Why didn't you do any? You could do some more. You could end it. You yell. You sing good night to everybody.
Good night. Come back soon. We're gonna miss you. Have a good night, guys.